told that in this conversation that you just had with KK Sapon, he talks about Freddie Blay. He's vouching for Freddie Blay's integrity and his ability to purchase these vehicles by himself.
Basically, he mentioned that Mr. Blay was his senior in school. When he was in first year, Mr. Blay was in final year, and he has no doubt at all in Mr. Blay's abilities to fund some of these activities that he's been engaged in. He mentioned in response to a point made specifically in the minority statement, and that point is that some years back when the NPP was struggling to repay a loan of 2 million, Mr. Freddie Blay was not available to lend a helping hand. When I put this point to Dr. Sapon, he said that there is a difference between 4 years ago and today. I suggested at that point that it could be that difference is that he's now board chairman of the GNPC, and that is the point that the minority is making. But he mentioned again that it has nothing to do with the GNPC, and it is because he, as a CEO, is sticking to the highest of governance principles, and so it will not even be possible for GNPC to fund Mr. Blay's activities.
I see. And let's talk about the demands we've heard, both from the minority and from the House of Chiefs. He dismisses that. He doesn't think that there's a need for any probe.
Exactly. Again, and that is where he makes this point that Mr. Blay is a man of means, and Mr. Blay should be able to fund any of these activities. I asked him as the GNPC CEO if he will be willing for this probe to go on so that at least the name of his company is cleared. He sees no need for it, not even in his personal capacity as a Ghanaian or as the CEO of GNPC.
Daniel, thank you very much. Let's bring in the spokesperson for the minority as far as issues with mines and energy is concerned. Adam Wakilu is on the line with us. He signed that statement that the minority issued on this matter, and the response he got was directed directly at the minority. Mr. Wakilu, thank you very much for your time here on Top Story. Great. So we just heard from the GNPC in a statement they issued. They are categorical that the GNPC did not in any way support or play any role in Mr. Freddie Blay's campaign. In fact, they say that the corporation has a robust financial system that will not allow any official to approve or receive funds to support programs not set out in a web program and budget that is approved by Parliament. That is a direct reaction to you.
Good that GNPC issue a statement that they have not funded Freddie Blay. And that is the grounds where we need an independent forensic audit to prove whether it is true what GNPC is saying or not. That is the basis for a forensic audit to be done, independent.
Now, in the statement they issued, they respond to that. They say categorically that they are already audited, their financial records, already audited by Ernst & Young. And so what's the need for a financial audit?
Doing a forensic audit. Ernst & Young is doing a normal audit. We must be very clear with that. Every institution has auditors who audit them annually, some of them quarterly. But where there are issues, an independent forensic audit is set to audit. It could be financial, it could be management. So this is a call. They have made their point. But the one who can verify, either to confirm what they have said or not, is an independent forensic audit to be done. We can't say they are totally right or wrong.
But why do you suspect there's something wrong that has happened when GNPC is telling you categorically that they did not help Freddie Blay purchase those vehicles? Are you just saying this because the man is a board chair? What issues?
And the behavior he put out with the purchase, with the doling out of $3 million as a guarantee, and the activities that went on the ground, call to question his position as the board chairman of our national oil company. And that is why we are calling for 2 things.
Yeah.
Okay. For him to resign. One.
Sorry.
And two.
Sorry. The first demand. Forgive me. The first demand, we lost you. Forgive me, Mr. Mutawakilu. On your first demand, we lost you briefly. The line just, you said your first demand is? And what's the basis for that? Okay. You haven't conducted the forensic audit you're hoping will tell you what indeed happened and give you the truth. So my key question really is, in the absence of that forensic audit, why are you asking him to step aside when you don't even know yet whether he did something wrong?
In the institution, in the course of the forensic audit. Very important.
Mr. Watson, in the GNPC said that they brought you a work program that you scrutinized at the committee level, correct? Did you, in that work program, did you see anything in there that aroused your curiosity?
When you submit a lump sum amount and Parliament approve, and then you implement, Parliament do not monitor the day-to-day activity of the implementation. We must be very clear with that. So if the NPC submit to me $100 million and I approve, I don't run it day to day to see how to use it.
Yes, but you suggest that but you didn't see anything wrong with the work program.
Proving that thing, go and look at the Hansard. And that is why we always want the organization or the state-owned enterprises to be present in the chamber when we are passing their work programs. Because members raise critical issues in
Did these items that you raised questions about include one where they gave out monies to purchase vehicles and buses?
That there were certain critical issues that were.
And I'm also just asking for clarity whether the issues you interrogated and raised on the floor included one which says they were going to use monies to help Freddie Blake buy buses. So what is the basis? I mean, you in what program that you're criticizing?
Says about certain issues, and when they leave, they're going to implement it, and we don't follow up. It's very important with it. And that is why we are.
That's the point I asked. Yeah, that's the point I asked.
If we had captured it as buses, we wouldn't be calling for forensic audit, my brother. You should know.
So you believe? So this is just based purely on suspicion.
The board chairman seated somewhere. Just last month, he went to Russia and signed a gas sales agreement on behalf of GNP. It has financial implications. Just last month, he went to Russia.
That is Mr. Freddie Blake. That is Mr. Freddie Blake, the chairman. I must say that I don't have any evidence to back the claim that he did sign any. Unfortunately, I Google it for a journalist. Unfortunately for a journalist, Google cannot be the sole source for which I can base on to make a categorical statement. You are a member of Parliament, but you. Yes. So let me ask, and he confirmed to you. Freddie Blake confirmed to you on the phone that he did sign on behalf of GNPC.
Joy FM carried it even.
Yeah, that's very true.
Okay. And then he confirmed that to you. Okay. And my colleagues have confirmed that to me, and so that is indeed happened. But let me ask you finally, you've asked for a probe. You are a ranking member. I'm wondering what what else you plan to do to get to the bottom of this using your position as a ranking member on the Mines Energy Committee?
In the last part, that in 2 weeks' time, if the president is not able or refuses to set up an independent audit, forensic audit, we will take several options. And these options, we are not going to take it just as a minority.
Give me a few of the options that you consider. I'm grateful that you joined us. Adam Mutawakilu is a spokesperson for the minority on mines and energy. Well, one of the groups that have already taken this matter up and has written a petition to the Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice is the petition from the Social Justice, a Coalition for Social Justice. I've just been joined on the telephone line by their convener, Mrs. Samuel Jemfi. Hello, Mr. Jemfi. Thank you for your time here on Top Story. So, has Straj responded yet and acknowledged receipt of your petition?
Our petition was duly received at the office of Straj, and they've acknowledged receipt of the petition.
So from what you gather, Straj is willing and ready to probe this?
It's a matter of what the law provides, because what we have done is that we have invoked the jurisdiction of Straj under Article 218, Clause A and E, and under Article 287 of the 1992 Constitution. And so it is not a discretionary matter. This has to do with Straj's constitutional mandate and responsibility under the laws of Ghana. And we believe that Straj will be alive to its responsibilities and conduct credible investigations into this transaction, which for me is the biggest showboating, political showboating scandal ever to be witnessed in this country.
What truth do you seek to unravel? What are the grounds for this petition?
This petition stems from our commitment to the fight against corruption and all forms of graft in the administration of this country. And it hinges on two basic issues. The first is that we believe that as the board chairman for GNPC, Mr. Freddie Blay is a public officer and therefore enjoined by law to declare his assets to the Auditor General in line Act 550. Now, he's also enjoined by law to disclose to us the source of funding for the procurement of these 275 buses, because we don't think that he has the wherewithal, he has the financial capacity to personally fund this transaction, which we are told.
Listen, me announce that Mama be sending message. Say me fan so hona. Yeah, it's not your first interview, but you on her show. Me say but you in the studio. In the studio. Yes, I hear
investigate declarations by public officers relative to their assets. Find out whether they are compliant with the law.
No.
Believe that when you investigate the assets, it will give us an appreciation of whether or not he has the capacity to such a transaction. We don't think that he has that at all. And so it is an issue of interest for us that we want to investigate that. Secondly, we are saying that as a public officer, he needs to uphold the values of probity and accountability, which are against the 1992 Constitution. And by virtue of that, he needs to act in accordance with law. If you look at Section 239, 234, 241 of the Criminal Offences Act, vote buying is a crime, is a very serious offense which the laws frown upon. And we think that looking at the timing for this transaction and the circumstances under which these buses were procured, we think that is a clear vote buying case, which is a corrupt act and which must therefore be investigated by the anti-graft body charge. And so these are basically the two essential grounds for this petition. And Article 287 is clear relative to asset declaration. Article 218 is also very clear related to allegations of corruption. And so we have done our part as citizens who have a duty to protect and preserve public funds by petitioning SHRA to invoke their jurisdiction to launch an investigation into this scandal, so that at the end of the day we will know that was legally acquired by Freddie Blay or illegally acquired by him. And we will also know whether this whole transaction and this whole act was a vote buying gesture and therefore a corrupt act or not.
I'm grateful that you joined us. That's Sami Jemfi's convener for Coalition for Social Justice, and they have petitioned the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice to probe the source of funding and other issues surrounding Freddie Blay's purchase of the 275 buses. And if you're wondering what the key issues are as far as the purchase of the buses are concerned, listen to my report put together by my colleague, Arba Kumsit.
The former Elembele MP has been criticized by both his opponents and some of his party members on his decision to obtain $11.5 million to procure 275 buses for the MPP's branches in all the constituencies. Okay. His spokesperson, Richard Nyama, told Joy News Mr. Blay had deposited $3 million of his own money for the buses, 100 of which he took delivery of last week. He explained the party was informed of this project.
It is a business proposal that Mr. Freddie Blay put before the party. It was accepted, and he got a facility. He guaranteed and paid 30% of it, $3 million, out of his own resources.
Editor-in-Chief of the New Crusading Guy, Malik Kubako, on News for last Saturday, also corroborated Mr. Nyama's claim. But in a clear contradiction to this claim, retained treasurer of the party, Kwabena Amakwayabua, said he was unaware the party had been informed of any such project.
The loan for the bus, I have no idea about that. Because in politics, everybody has a vision. And I believe it was part of the chairman's vision to arrange some buses for party people and all that. But mine is the three main things I've mentioned.
So it was not a party. It was not a party action.
And of course, if the chairman has that vision, we expect that later on it will come to the party for the council and the steering committee to approve and buy into that idea.
So whose money is it? I mean, where's the money from? Was it from the from the acting chairman?
The party. If the party wants to go into buying buses, would have to go through a process. Steering committee, national council. If the chairman says, look, I have some sources of revenue, I have some sources of an arrangement I want to do for the party, that is his prerogative. But if he's going to involve the party, because of course we have to pay for, then it has to go through this process.
Anti-graft agency, the Ghana Integrity Initiative, has already condemned the procurement as morally wrong and must be investigated. Political scientist Professor Ransford Jampo agrees.
I mean, he meant well and he wanted to help the party and all that. But the timing, this was done just in the lead up to the election. And you cannot tell me that it wasn't vote buying. And yet the party itself failed to say anything against it. And so the silence of the party, the mere silence of the party, in my view, amounts to a conferment of legitimacy on vote buying.
Well, Raymond Akwa and not Arakum Singh found that report. It's 5 minutes at the top of the hour, and in the studio with me now is the newly elected national organizer of the MPP, Sami Iwoku. His name is synonymous with the youth of the party, and we're still trying to get used to not mistakenly referring to him as a national youth organizer of the party. Mr. Iwoku, thank you for your time here on Top Story.
Thank you very much. You're addicted to that.
Yeah, we are still getting used to national organizer.
Remind me of Chairman General Sefaka. He doesn't know how to call me now because he gave me the youth.
Use youth.
Yes.
Anyway, thank you very much for joining us in the studio. And let's start with, I guess, congratulations are in order.
Yes, sir.
I guess your victory on Saturday was the biggest among the others who contested. A landslide. How does that make you feel? More responsibility on your shoulders?
Yes, I think so. And to whom much is given, much is expected. But let me, in accordance with tradition, let me say congratulations to the other elected officers of our party, from the national chairman down to the national coordinator. And also, let me say a big thank you to the NPP delegates and the NPP fraternity. And we won't disappoint. That's one assurance that we can give them. And to my other opponents in our contest, I also want to express that gratitude for the competition that they did. You know, when it comes to ballot, they are never sure until the votes are counted. Even when they are counted, you still have to you don't have to relax till you are declared either a winner or otherwise. So I was clearly aware, and I wasn't oblivious of the process that I was going through. So indeed, the sound of the victory was loud.
It was loud. Yeah. And the sense of responsibility then is also pretty significant.
Very much so. The NPP clearly gave me marching orders that go out there, organize the party, mobilize enough vote for us to win 2020. And it's non-negotiable. And so I also take it in good faith, and I am so much determined to also help the party realize this vision of winning 2020. We are not going to be complacent. We will not rest until the last ballot is counted and the NPP and another declared winners.
You know, they say getting to the top is one thing, but staying there is a far more difficult task. You and your colleagues delivered the biggest victory yet in your political history.
That's correct.
The challenge is holding on to that, at least maintaining the gains, as the president has constantly said, or building on it and achieving even far more, which some say it's nearly impossible because the NDC will not be as shambolic as they were in 2016. And it comes down to the question, what does Sami Iwuku bring to this table that will help the NPP either maintain those 1 million votes extra that you got or improve on that? Before you answer that question, we're going to take a short break because there's a lot more we want to interrogate, including answering that question, what he brings to the table. And of course, he will be answering the question about the purchase of the 275 buses. We've been told to speak to the party. You don't get anybody higher than Sami Iwuku to speak to as a national organizer. What happened? Who financed it? What did the party approve it? Details of that and more right after News 9.
Joy 99.7
Right after
FM.
News 9.
News 9. Hey, News 9. News 9 jingle.